Dad Life presents live discussions on Obi-Wan Kenobi, Episode 3. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to live discussions of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Episode 3. My name is Jay. And I guess I've wrangled him into being a co-host of this Obi-Wan Kenobi specific live stream. Is my good friend Matt, the host of Owen and Beru's Barbecue, a Star Wars focused podcast. Matt, welcome. It's been so long.
Thanks for having me. It was just a couple days ago. Glad to be back here talking about things related to sand.
Oh wow. This episode. Insane, absolutely insane.
Are we gonna get into spoilers? Because you better tell me, Jay.
We're spoiler alert.
I made this mistake last time.
But we will be talking about Episode 3. So if you haven't seen it yet, just in detail. We're not going to be vague about it. We're going to talk about it.
We're just going to jump right in there.
Exactly. So if you haven't seen it, just come back afterwards. No big deal. No big deal at all. We'll be here waiting for you.
Watch it again.
Exactly. There you go.
Watch us again.
Toys and Connections. Wait, Episode 3 is out. Yeah, it dropped today. So this is its new time slot, right?
The Wednesday. The Wednesday is how we're doing it. I was confused. I thought Star Wars is on Fridays, Marvel's on Wednesdays, and Disney is not keeping the two. But yeah, they seem to be getting. Wednesdays are the days that these are going to drop from here on out,
which I'm okay with because the sooner the better. And like these episodes, the first 2 episodes just dropped, which they kind of did on Friday, and we're here to wait. But now we got a full week to wait till Episode 4, and oh man, it's gonna be a long wait. Let's say hello to the chat. We got Nick Dillinger in the house. We got Totally Rad Dad. This is where the fun begins. Dartherian. So is Vader still the learner at this point? I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit.
Very confused by that. Yeah, go ahead.
Nelson A. Apparently Vader's kryptonite is fire. Mecha Man Blade. Watching this now. Don't start the show without me, JK. Cobweb can't be here to watch it live because I haven't seen the episode yet, but hit the like button. Appreciate that. Everybody else that's watching right now, hit that like button if you haven't done it yet. David V. Hi, everyone. The best episode so far. Fantastic series. I can't disagree with you. Mike Hex says soup. Kayla and Silver's here. Hey, nerds. Live action turns. I'm saying have a good show. Oh, well, then, Ralph, I'll send you a link. He was like, I'm doing this thing, so I can't join you. You're in the description is joining us today. So if you can, I'll send you a link right now, my friend.
Yeah, feel free. I assume that your beard gives you the same power that Kenobi has. So
yeah, absolutely. Secret tunnel through the small town. Secret tunnel. Andy Silva, hello there, Daniel. What an episode. Agreed. Riley Bob is here. Talk about an episode. Totally agree. Studio Henges in the house as well. Hello, Jay and Matt. H right here. Sorry, I'm late. Dog ate my homework. That's always a tough situation.
You know what they use in the deserts to get around on? It's a camel, and it's also comes out on Hump Day. So sorry, that was a really bad.
Hold on, here we go. Hold on, I got you.
I don't think it's worthy.
No, you're getting it.
Oh. I think it was good that it was a half pause, like because that delivery was bad. I'll come back next Wednesday and I'll work on that.
No, listen, the punnier the better, my friend. It is part of your aura.
It's part of me being a geek and a dad. Let's face it, is trying to come up with Star Wars puns for my kids.
That's true. So. This is an interesting fact. So out of all the people that I've had on as co-hosts, I think so far. You're the only fellow geek dad I've had on.
All right.
So
that's like a special badge there. It's like I was in the war, man. I fought in some trenches. I've dealt with some tantrums.
Speaking of wars, post Clone Wars, now Star Wars. Can we just start off? Let's just, since this is spoiler warning, last chance. Get out.
Yes, get out of here.
I did not expect for this episode to episode the way it did.
Yeah. Yeah, and even some of the moments I was like, "Oh, we're getting this now. Oh, we're getting this now." Like just the twists and turns that it gave us. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt like perhaps where some fans are like, "Boo, it's not doing the things I want it to do." I will say this. I like how it's taking an unconventional approach.
Yes.
There are some things that I would have been like, "Oh, I would have built this part up. I would have done this and this." I kind of like how it was just like, "Oh no, this is happening, people."
Yeah.
And suffer through it.
Yeah. So, right off the bat, you kind of just you where you left off the previous episode where you had the little clip of Hayden Christensen in the back to tank.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically kind of just follow that scene
a little bit further, right?
A little bit further. And honestly, I thought that was a little taste of Vader. We're going to get episode 2. And we have to wait till like episode 5 till we got our main course.
Yeah, this isn't like a penultimate and a finale kind of reveal, right?
So, one of the big things touted in this, I don't know, all the media and pomp and circumstance leading up to this show, even like a year ago, it's like, we're bringing back Vader.
Yeah, rematch. Yeah,
exactly. And I did at best, I thought, okay, last episode 6, gonna get there, whatever, and it's gonna be like the last like 5 minutes of episode 6,
right?
And to Andy Silva's point here, this felt like just round 1. I feel maybe now I'm just getting greedy. I'm like, there's gonna be multiple rounds.
I've heard rumors of how many times they face off against each other. I hope those are all wrong. But if this is round 1, do we get a round 2 and 3?
There's still 6 episodes of this thing, so 3 episodes left.
If we need anything, we need a montage, because we talked about it on Monday, but
we did.
Seriously, at the end of this, you got to know that Kenobi's thinking like, man, I need to bulk up.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like he's been through the fight. He's like, oh, this guy's coming for me. And Anakin is pissed. Like, not only did I leave him alive, but he's got the entire galactic empire at his disposal.
What I loved about this episode is it encapsulated perfectly the misery of Darth Vader, like Anakin in the suit and everything, right? Like the whole thing of how they're just like attaching the limbs to him and the chest piece is like drilling into his chest. Like, and it's well documented that the suit is kind of designed to torture him and piss him off. 24/7, right? And in every scene that he is in after, especially, once he's there on that mining planet, you can just tell he is just enraged, and clearly he blames Obi-Wan for this constant torture that he is under. And to your point, the second he's like, I was like, oh, you needed a montage before this. You needed
a Jedi
montage.
You did. You needed to have him lifting some weights, moving things with his mind, getting ready for. Because Vader came and he was not ready for that. I'm waiting for him to become the master, because or for Vader to become the learner, because I'm not seeing it right now.
But my guess is the being the learner has to come at some point, because there has to be some way that Obi-Wan, maybe Qui-Gon shows up and that's how he gets his Jedi montage, and then there's like round 2 maybe, and
can we just have a scene where Vader like hits his fist is like, I still am the learner, like just to kind of like let the
hit it over the head.
Yeah, like I'm still the learner.
Or it's kind of like the post-credit scene. Maybe whatever the final battle is, Vader comes back humbled, and Palpatine's like, clearly you're still the learner. Credits.
Yeah, I like that. It's like a Curb Your Enthusiasm kind of moment there.
But yeah, because there was like a moment like when Vader's just like one-handed, so clearly but like Obi-Wan has like his first grip, and then he like switches to like God, please hold it.
Yeah, he's not strong at all.
Yeah. And let's go
Yeah.
ahead, please.
No, I mean, it was not what you wanted. Nobody wants to see Kenobi like this, and I think that it also kind of reminded me of how Thor first met Hulk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sorry for spoilers for a movie that everybody that's seen the Infinity trilogy or saga,
Mm-hmm.
but okay, Thor and Hulk, they
Yeah.
first see each other, and Hulk just smears the entire area with Thor,
Mm-hmm.
so um it definitely like helps build up like the fact that he's not at his best. And now sorry to jump to the end, but
Oh,
he's
it's
also
fine.
lost Leia, right? So he's really going
We
to
don't know
be
for sure yet, right? Like
okay.
there's the whole Reva of this situation where it's still trying to read her motivations. The more and more, especially in this episode, I'm kind of with the theory that her motivations aren't necessarily to be the Grand Inquisitor. It's more to get her revenge on Anakin for killing all the younglings or whatever.
Mhm.
That's the thing that solidified that for me in Reva is, and she may very well still kidnap Leia or whatever, like do awful things, but um, but when fifth brother was like, "You're gonna get yours in the end" or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
like that's what I'm counting on. Like it seems like she's on a kind of a suicide mission.
She is totally rogue. She
Oh yeah,
Yeah. She's pre-rogue.
absolutely. Uh,
Yeah.
because clearly, and here's some things that kind of have come to light since the first two episodes. Grand Inquisitor is still alive. They've confirmed it. Just kind of down for the count,
Okay.
being stabbed. So the Grand Inquisitor still is going to live.
Okay, so that is still the same Grand Inquisitor that we've
Same
known
Grand
and loved.
Inquisitor that we saw
Okay.
in Rebels is going to
Yeah.
be there. Oh,
But
and we've got a special third of our triumphant for this third episode. Good friend of the channel, co-host of Screen Geeks, also has already talked about this episode today because he runs his own Star Wars channel with his good friend James, live action Star Wars. Let's give it a warm Geek Dad life. Welcome to Ralph. Hey, Ralph.
How's it going?
Good to see you, buddy.
hey, Ralph.
I don't know why I offered my time. I was like making dinner, and then I'm like, oh, that wasn't very smart. I thought I'd be done by then. Dinner was taking a little bit longer, but
That's okay. Take your time. Do you
here's
go back
the, here's the thing.
you want to come back in? It's fine.
No. Here's the thing: is that I did talk about this show this morning for an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and
And you've thought about it since then.
I've watched it twice, and I'm super pumped up for this show. It's so good. And I mean, I don't want to like regurgitate. I'm gonna say go over to my feed.
Mm-hmm.
We came up with stuff that's just like what they're doing on a micro level is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This show is they're really, really, really like small details that I noticed that are amazing.
Yep.
The you guys talking about Darth Vader?
Well, so we were just talking about how kind of setting the stage with Reva's motivations and talking about how it's confirmed the Grand Inquisitor is still alive. That's been confirmed by producers and stuff like that. So that is there. And then I did just want to bring up the whole I am so tired of entitled Star Wars fans treating new characters like absolute trash. So the whole situation with Moses and like
it's really unfortunate. It's
I'm so over it. I'm so over it. And I know nobody here is one of those people, but I'm the entitled Star Wars fans are driving me nuts.
Everybody that's over that and everybody that hates all that stuff, come over to live action Star Wars because we tout ourselves as like a positive Star Wars podcast. Sure, there's room for critique.
Sure,
like,
absolutely.
Of course, there's room for criticism.
You're allowed to not like a character for whatever.
But I mean, here's the thing: like, if there's something we really don't like, why talk about it? There's plenty of Star Wars for everybody. So if you don't like this aspect of the show, go watch a different show with your favorite characters.
And if you identify with the minor that was like driving and picking up hitchhikers along the way, and had
Zach Braff, who I thought was Seth Rogen until I found out it was Zach Braff.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny because I watched your show last Friday, I believe. And I was like, oh yeah, this was a conversation I had like hours ago. And the thing I like about our show is like there's no cut and paste opinions, which is my favorite part of our show happening so early. I don't like that it happens so early, but our schedule sort of dictates when we go on, because I'm in California and my co-host James is in England. He works graveyard shifts. So like trying to time that out, it just works this way.
Hello.
But anyway, it's fun.
No, I like it. It's so fun.
So like we don't like, people are like posting their like episode 1 and 2 ones on Monday, and by then like the S has hit the fan, and so it's like, oh good, I'm glad we had a clean episode without having to deal with that kind of stuff.
Kayla asks, that was it was JD. It was JD. It was him. We've had some more people, a lot of people saying hello to you, Ralph. A lot of Ralph love in the chat. But yeah, I think at no point should fandom resort to death threats, vile racist comments and crap like that. Again, that's not the
nothing should in life. Nothing should. It's really easy to, if there's a thing you don't like, mute it.
Yeah, or
even in real life. If there's a person you don't like,
maybe this show isn't for you. If you don't like seeing Leia as a child with a plucky little droid, okay, maybe you're out. Check out. This isn't for you. This is not the show for you.
What's the Ewok show? Go check out those. They're great.
Those two Ewok Adventures.
Yes.
Hey, whoa.
Whoa.
Like those, and I will.
I'm saying go watch those.
Hey.
Okay, all right.
So let me.
I
just want to bring something up that I haven't heard anywhere else.
Okay, sure.
We had a guest on today, Eddie Pence, great comedian, awesome guy to talk to, full of energy. Was nice enough to join us at 9 in the
you
morning.
Plugging your show the whole time?
I know. It's just like,
but this is good
minutes
because
of Ralph was talking.
He sent me after we talked about an hour of Kenobi. He sends me a text message that he says, "I just realized something. This is why Leia calls her son Ben."
Oh,
and
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm like, that's amazing. I love that. I hadn't heard that before. And
I love that theory.
Yeah. And I love the idea. And whatever happens. If she finds out that this is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ben are the same person,
I don't think it'll happen.
Great. If not, I think it's a beautiful homage to the fact that like this is who Ben is named after. And it always confused me because I was always like, wait, why would Han Solo want his son named Ben? It's not like he knew him as old Ben. Only Luke knew him as old Ben. And why would Luke be like, oh, you better name your kid Old Ben?
And thinking about Luke busting into the cell block and saying, "I'm here with Ben Kenobi."
Yeah,
that is where it. As I was watching this episode, that's where it connected with me, was because then Leia goes, "Ben Kenobi, where is he?" And then like goes hard. And I was like, "Oh, that," because it was a thing as a kid, or I was like, she's no Ben Kenobi. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Why is she saying Ben Kenobi? It doesn't make any sense.
And this is the type of thing where I love that it's those small little details that totally work. In the fight, Obi-Wan is fighting with the lightsaber with two hands. He's got both hands on the lightsaber. It'll look something like this. So he's fighting with two hands, and that's something that George Lucas wanted to happen in Star Wars. The original Star Wars was the lightsabers are heavy, and you have to use two hands to hold on. Mine was actually a Luke one. Here, I'll use an Obi-Wan. So
mine's not painted.
So in this episode, he's so out of tune with the Force.
Yeah.
He's holding it like a civilian. He's holding it the way Luke does. Yeah. And like that little detail is amazing.
Oh yeah.
Well, and the way Lucas thought of it was because it was actually heavy. That it would take so much effort and energy to move which they kind of pull that in with the Mandalorian, right? Like the Darksaber and how the Darksaber moves against you or with you. I feel like the Darksabers.
Yeah, it's tough that the Darksaber, is heavy, probably because you're not a Force user. I feel like you
Yeah.
need to be
Yeah.
in tune with the Force
Yeah.
in order to be able to wield
Yep.
a lightsaber. And when you're full of the Force in episode 1, 2, and 3, and you're Obi-Wan, you could fly all over the place. You can control your lightsaber with one
Absolutely.
hand and do flips and stuff. So now we're seeing him fight in the episode 4 style. And I love that. I love that. It's a perfect transition into that. So the fan who made that great video of the updated Obi-Wan Darth Vader fight from episode 4, that's cool, but this serves the story. And this is, this.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Well, and it's something I did like about the sequel series is the more visceral lightsaber battle. And this had that. I mean, the whole sequence from the second Vader walks down, that alleyway, snaps a kid's neck. Just the intercut of the Darth Vader breathing with the Obi-Wan breathing, just the hatred that you're feeling from Darth Vader. And it's scary. Like, it is scary to the level, a lot of people are like, well, Disney didn't let Rogue One Darth Vader be as evil. Just for like a second, they let him be evil. They're never going to let him be that evil. Dude, going out just killing kids in the dang episode. As he's walking down to try and lure Obi-Wan to come out and fight. Insane. But I love
it. And it ratchets up what we saw in the first part, which was them trying to draw out the Jedi, but except we're seeing Vader get to do it in the most brutal method. And obviously, like, the Inquisitors theoretically would be that brutal, but we get to see Vader be the coolest at it, right?
The Inquisitors like, that's
we can do that.
Too dark.
Too dark.
You guys were talking about this is round 1, and you're expecting a round 2 or 3.
Hopefully.
We brought this up on our show again. Sorry, but believe there.
Are you on a show?
A Star Wars show?
I didn't know.
We believe
Casino Skunk?
No, it's a live action SW.
Okay, I heard the rumor that there was only 2 meetups, but I don't want to believe.
Well, but this is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
The second meetup is going to mirror Revenge of the Sith. So this is what happens.
Okay, all right.
Darth Vader leaves Obi-Wan to die.
Oh,
Obi-Wan's by himself, and he's about to die. He's about to go over. His eyes are closed, as mentioned by Quinlan. You're not able to see until your eyes are closed. His eyes closed. He's about to die. He finally sees Qui-Gon. And Qui-Gon says,
"No, don't."
Qui-Gon says,
"What?
Rise."
Oh,
and cool. So the line that Tarkin says, "Surely he's dead by now," totally makes sense. We need to leave this at a place where Anakin believes
you're absolutely right. I was thinking about this just today. I was thinking, okay, the only way that Vader or Anakin is going to ever walk away from Kenobi now that he knows that he's alive is if he believes that he is truly dead. Right. So that would be an interesting cameo too, if we even see a Tarkin is in on it.
I think that Quinlan Voss line was
the Quinlan Voss reference. Just even hearing them say, I was just like, yes. And my wife was like, who's Quinlan Voss? Because my kids,
I don't even know. I've heard the name though.
Well,
I'm not a book reader.
Ralph doesn't like Clone Wars, Matt.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay.
Well, I don't like him. I just seen him once, and I'm good.
He's basically the surfer. He's basically like the surfer kind of
bad boy a little bit, like was a bad boy Jedi, right?
Yeah. He's just like, whoa, what's up, bro? We're catching a gnarly wave. He's got dreads and everything.
Yeah, I'll pull up. The thing is,
one of those things is true.
His Wikipedia page must have just blown up today because everyone's like, which one's Quinlan again? Which one's Quinlan again? Because I did that. I was like, which one was Quinlan? So I'll pull it up now if anyone needs the refresher. Quinlan in Clone Wars.
I always imagine Quinlan Voss and Obi-Wan Kenobi in some kind of like odd couple pairing and basically, where he's kind of like, come on, Quinlan, clean up your side of the room, and they're in like a youngling school together or something, or they're in college and Quinlan's going out and getting something strange. So
So I love the reference here. Nick says, "Jay, do you feel like your ex-wife and new girlfriend in the same room?" JK, kid. I think it's because Matt, you're here, and Ralph is here as well. No,
Okay.
Ralph is an ex-wife. Ralph is still the current co-host of Screen Geeks.
Every Thursday, Screen Geeks, here on Geek Dad Life 2. The Deuce.
I think now that we have Geek Dad Life 2, Ralph, we need to figure out like if either of us have a consistent day we can do Screen Geeks. I think is the next step.
Yeah, and I don't want to pull you away from your family. I don't have kids, so I can jump on anytime. Clearly, I just abandoned the kitchen.
Yeah, I feel bad for Stevie in this scenario. I will say. Colleen, she's doing her own podcast tonight, so it's fine.
We won't plug it though, right?
Matt is a side nerd.
Don't check the
I'm a side nerd.
Broadcast.
I like to think of me as the Mork, and then Ralph is kind of like the Laverne, and Jay
Matt's
is
been
like
on my show.
Richie Cunningham.
Okay.
Yes, I'm more like Chuck. I just kind of disappear.
Oh, I thought you were on this show a lot more than Chuck. Like,
all right.
The last episode I did was Doctor Strange. It's been a while.
Which is only like a week or two ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but before that it was the Batman, and the Batman's been so
it's gonna be okay. It's okay, Ralph. It's okay. You're not the Chuck. You're not the Chuck. See, poor Stevie eating spaghetti all by her lonesome.
Thank you for finishing that up. All the timers were set, and she's nice enough to do that.
This one thing I'm wondering about: will this show shed any light on the line? Strike me down. I'll become more powerful as you can possibly know. Will Ghost Qui-Gon demonstrate? Absolutely. That's how I've always assumed it.
Yeah. I mean, the opening scene with Obi-Wan waking up from his nightmare. The first thing out of his mouth is Master Qui-Gon. He's been trying. Yeah. He's been trying to contact him, and again, that Quinlan Vos quote saying, "You won't be able to see until your eyes are closed," or whatever he said. I only watched it twice. I didn't take notes.
Here's my question.
That's key. That's the key.
And Matt, feel free to answer first here.
Because he did it on your show.
No. Do you think Obi-Wan has successfully communicated with Qui-Gon yet?
Oh no, I don't think so. I think he's. I mean, I think that's the. I love that image of him in the dark alone and just asking for his master.
Yoda has told him this. So you think 10 years in, he still hasn't been able to connect with him yet?
Well, he's lost all his mojo after his failure with Qui-Gon.
He seems like he's cut himself off from the Force, like Luke did almost.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why he's having these nightmares of like what he's left behind. And by the way, we haven't mentioned this moment, but anytime you have Kenobi talking to Leia about either parent, it's just like, what? Shut up. This is so sweet.
Yeah.
But even bigger, Obi-Wan talking about his own family.
He has a brother.
He has a brother. Sad. He has a brother. I love that we learned that.
We talked about the Vader stuff. Let's talk about the Obi-Wan and Leia stuff, which again has worked so well. The actress playing Leia is absolutely fantastic. Honestly, doing some of the best acting in the show. Like some of the lines, are like she was a better actor than Obi-Wan in the trying to play it cool in the
right.
There was a moment actually where I was like, Are you okay, Ewan? Like, do you need another take at this? Did they just give you one take? Because this kid's out acting you in this moment. I know you're just walking in the desert, but she's great.
Let's talk about that continued storyline here. I for one, I think just that moment of "Are you my father?" and
oh my gosh,
and like you just. But and this is where we're joking, we're kind of ribbing on Ewan here, but Ewan's facial acting, like just his face, it's just so sad all the time. Like it just makes me depressed every time he has to think about something. But like even there, it's just like you could see him just think of all, and it's just it hurts so much.
Yeah.
But what's crazy now is that he knows that Anakin's still alive. So now when he sees the Empire, he sees Anakin as well. He has a vision. And so now it's even, you thought it was bad before. Now he realizes that Anakin's the cause of the Empire and all the.
But I love the fact that he sees the vision of Anakin, how he last knew him.
Yeah.
You know, that's very,
Yeah.
it was one of those moments where, my wife, I just feel weird mentioning her, without saying her name. But anyway, as the non-Star Wars fan watching it, oh, wait, who is that? I was like, well, that's Anakin. That's how he last saw him,
It's kind of interesting because
So,
even I was watching a few like YouTube, like well-known, like heavy spoilers and stuff. I think heavy spoilers was like, thought it was Anakin, but wasn't 100% sure. Like to me, I was like, that's Anakin. That's Hayden
It's
Christensen.
just Anakin, right? That's what I assume.
But there was kind of like, I guess for some of the first takes, like, is that Anakin for sure? I was like, who else would it be? It has to be.
yeah. I mean, he's haunted by this person, this person they just figured out who's alive. So
I was really hoping that was going to tee up a flashback because I would really like a Clone Wars era flashback between
right. Yeah. Just to see Ewan McGregor in the outfit from the Clone Wars.
Absolutely. Get him in the Clone Wars outfit. Get some nice, like give Hayden a chance.
Do it nice.
Just give Hayden a chance.
For the kids.
Like this has been so great. And again, talking about just the toxicity on a new character like Moses is facing, but for Hayden Christensen, who also just
lived through
the fiery coals of Mustafar on his acting and everything. Would love for him to get much like Andrew Garfield in the latest Spider-Man. Spoiler alert. Got a chance to kind of redeem him. Like I want the flashback to give Hayden Christensen and Obi-Wan like another shot at having some like good dialogue between each other that we saw in Clone Wars and done time and time again.
I know this isn't going to happen in this show, but I would just want this to be a just a beautiful one-shot dream sequence. Show me Anakin alive with Padme, with the kids. Like we've seen it in comic books. They've alluded to it. Show me the dream sequence with Padme and Anakin alive with the kids.
Talk about heartbreaking.
Ralph, it is.
That's something you want to say.
I feel like if you do any Clone Wars flashbacks, this is where you cast Ashley Eckstein as a young Ahsoka. It doesn't have to be crazy over the top. It could be just a really short sequence.
But they didn't rely heavy on the flashback and Book of Boba Fett. Oh wait, they did. But they just didn't go back far enough. That was the problem.
But here's the thing, like I kind of, and people usually hate these, but like a whole episode that is just a Clone Wars. It's just a flashback.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
It would be perfect. It would be perfect for the next episode because you had the showdown between Vader and Obi-Wan, part 1. And then in the next episode, you have the training montage for Obi-Wan, but then like it's interspersed with a flashback storyline related to Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then Ashley Eckstein is like a young
you're gonna get your heart broken because this isn't gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. That's the thing.
I love the idea because essentially, and Jay, you mentioned it on our show. Ralph, I don't know if you watched that one, but
your last episode?
Yeah,
yeah, I watched it in its entirety.
Oh, okay, just checking.
I was in the chat as live action Star Wars, now available on YouTube.
But anyway, on that show, Jay mentioned how the part 2 felt like a Clone Wars episode, and this episode also had those Clone War elements. And even if kick the tires of the vehicle, even if there are some parts of Kenobi that as a fan you might just be like, well, that's not perfect or that's not quite up to snuff. Okay, so what? The first couple seasons of Clone Wars weren't great, but we're still getting some really great storytelling. And I don't know. I hope Disney and Star Wars don't pull the rug too quickly and they keep going, because even Marvel
the pacing of the show is perfect.
I like the pacing of the show. I like the pacing of the show for sure. I have no problem with it.
I do as well. Like honestly, Deborah Cho.
Right?
Cho?
Yeah.
Cho.
I thought it was Cho.
Cho, yeah, Deborah Cho. I absolutely love her directorial approach to this because like even in this episode, I know some people have criticized some of the shaky cam, but it's only in the scenes where Obi-Wan is scrambling in this, right?
Yes.
When it's Vader walking, it is like a fixed shot maybe some slow panning, and it is what is the phrase, inevitable. It's just like coming for you, and just like it's just still, and you have nothing to do but dread his presence. And then Obi-Wan just kind of like it's a
the frenetic movement, and I mentioned it in part 1 when he goes and sees the Jedi in the desert. That's just like, help me, please, and he's just like, I'm not that man. It had that same frenetic pacing. One aspect of this episode, and I don't know if anybody can clarify this, but it seems like it's daylight, and then all of a sudden it's night and Vader's there. Now, I only assume that there's a Star Destroyer up above or something casting a shadow on the entire city, but it seems like it goes from day to night without any sunset. And trust me, Star Wars loves a sunset. Sunsets in Star Wars last like 6 hours, right? But this one, it's just like gone, boom.
I feel like there's a little bit of a passage of time. And the workshop that they're hiding in doesn't have any windows, really.
Oh, okay. That's it's like.
But I don't think it's anything crazy. It's not like he didn't show up in the Death Star or anything.
No, that helps. That helps me. Piece out the time because for me, I was like, oh, it's daylight. They're going in here, and then boom, it's all of a sudden it's night and Vader's there. So. So I'm gonna get a load lifter to help me around the house. What about you guys?
Was it Ned B? Is it cool. Ned B? Is the load lifter robot? Thoughts on again? I
like the design.
I love I like the design and the emotions that they actually capture with, even though they can't speak. I really dug. It's very minor, but I really dug the presence of that character. For sure.
That line. What if he has something to say?
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Actions speak louder than words. Like that whole conversation. Like it's all stuff that's just. You can tell it's the building blocks for what Leia becomes.
Yep.
Even the lesson that about her mom is giving her in part 1. Just those little nuggets, like you see those moments forming.
Oh, absolutely. I think all of those. There's just so many scenes that are like foundational aspects to Leia that we kind of see time and time again.
Are they just going to continue to name Star Wars shows different character names so we don't know? Like the Acolyte is really going to be about somebody else. like it's not, the Acolyte, actually that's about an Ewok family, but really it starts off with a Sith Lord. So
tell me more about this Ewok show.
I'm not I'm just saying, like they like to do this, like, it's about Kenobi, but we have Leia. And she's got a cute droid that Jay's going to do another podcast about.
What?
Thank you, John.
So cute. Ned B, Bumblebee. Yeah, definitely a good call there. Definitely Bumblebee vibes. Leia kind of mentioned not being able to use her voice herself, and hey, that's a good call out there, Stevie. Let's given that NB action we see in the trailer, seems like he'll be the new K2. We'll see how that plays. I mean, clearly he saves Obi-Wan after kind of the showdown. But I also really dug what's her Tala Indira Varma. You probably know her from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Really liked her character, and again, like the story arc here for Obi-Wan that I thought a tragic scene, episode 1, where he's not going to help the Jedi out.
Yeah.
And then him realizing and seeing Quinlan's stuff on there and just like realizing like, oh, wait, there are people still fighting the fight. Is my approach of like removing myself from the equation the right call? And and I love that, how this character Tala really represents that of there is still a fight and there is still we're not giving up, and maybe completely removing yourself from the equation isn't the right call. And I love that those moments for Obi-Wan in this episode where it's like, wait, Quinlan was here?
And just even the revealing of like this is an Imperial who is risking it all, like she's on the other side and she's done so much more than what he's done for the last 10 years. So it's a good scene. And
I loved it. I loved it so much. And again, going back to Reva, who we talked a little bit earlier, there was this scene as well when she sees the Jedi symbol etched in that, and to me, it just, it like doubles down of her anger and resentment for getting abandoned in the Jedi temple. And it could go both ways. It could go the I'm ticked at Anakin for killing us all. And I'm also ticked at Obi-Wan for like not doing anything about it.
What if she doesn't know that Anakin kills them all, and that's what Kenobi reveals to her, and then it becomes like a good cop, bad cop kind of thing.
Maybe. But
Sorry,
there's something she knows it's Anakin, and part of this is her kind of revenge to her to get Anakin.
I mean, I feel like obviously she's a survivor of the Jedi Temple massacre.
Yep.
In this episode, they mentioned that they weren't just hunting down Jedi; they were hunting down Force users.
Yeah,
and Force unclear. It was unclear if they were getting killed or not. I have a feeling some of these younglings could have been taken to Camino for cloning, because we know in the first episode of the Bad Batch, and look at me bringing up animated series, we see them taking a dead Jedi off of a shuttle into Camino, because what's happening is Palpatine is definitely taking anybody that has any sort of midichlorian count and harvesting that for cloning. He created Snoke. He created Grogu. I think we're going to see Yaddle. I think he's a clone of Yaddle somehow.
Sure.
Using her midichlorians.
Yeah.
And we know that somehow Palpatine returned. And when that line happens, it's right after Dominic Monaghan mentions cloning.
Yep.
So I feel like this line of them saying, that they don't know if they're killing him or not leads me to believe that possibly maybe Anakin. I know Obi-Wan told Padme that he killed younglings, but maybe not all of them. Maybe some of them were taken to be cloned for their midichlorian counts.
Could there be a moment where it's like we learn that Vader is the one that, like, Anakin is the one that pulls Reva aside? Maybe some of these younglings he sees and actually protects and like kind of keeps them as his own.
I still think Reva's motivation is revenge against Anakin.
I see it as revenge against Anakin. That's how I see it. She wants to get close to Anakin so she can kill him.
Yes. But close to him alone.
Yeah.
And maybe.
But even in this episode, even with all of them there, she was like ready to go start following Darth Vader, and they're like, no, we have to stay back and switch to whatever.
Right. I feel like she's trying to get to Obi-Wan to present Obi-Wan to Anakin in a room similar to like Snoke's, where it was Rey, Kylo, and Snoke. It's a similar situation. She knows if she gets Obi-Wan, she could present him to Anakin one-on-one.
Yep.
And then possibly turn Obi-Wan over to help him fight Anakin.
Yep.
I think her main goal is revenge on Anakin. I think that's why she knows, and not many other people know, that he's Darth Vader.
Yeah. Because
she has the ability to read minds and kind of get into people's memories. She saw Anakin at the Jedi Temple take out the Jedi Knights. And later, when she came to come face to face with Darth Vader, she realized that's the same guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he's hell bent on Obi-Wan, so he's using Obi-Wan the same way that she used Leia to get to Obi-Wan.
Yep. So, Agreed. Like, to me, that's why else show us the younglings,
right?
And the attack on the Jedi Temple. Why else show us that other than to set that up for
that scene? 100% should have gotten cut out after recent events.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
You start your show off that way, there's a reason it's still in there. And if you look at that opening shot, the very first youngling you see is a close-up of a youngling that resembles Reva.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the very first shot.
Absolutely. And
so
your
story's about her.
If it was an irrelevant shot, you best believe Disney would pull that because of what's happened in Texas a week or so ago. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so much so, I think we talked about it on the last episode, but like Colin was like, "Are you going to be okay with this? Because this is going to happen. I need you to be okay with it." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll we'll be okay." But yeah, no, I 100% believe that that's how it's going to go. A lot of conversation around Grogu getting taken out during Order 66. Well, we see that in the flashback in Book of Boba Fett. I wouldn't fault anyone for like bailing out a Book of Boba Fett, but it gets really good when it becomes Mandalorian pre-season 3.
Last 3 episodes. Don't skip
really
out
good.
on that.
Really good. And
Maybe the last one.
Luke helps him flashback to him basically being there.
That's the
in
penultimate.
during
Can't miss that one.
It was the
6th one.
CGI Luke. And I assume the Grogu thing, maybe we'll see a continuation of that scene. Maybe we'll see how Grogu was saved as well. Don't know if we'll see it in this one, but maybe in another of these Star Wars.
I would assume in The Mandalorian, like, we would get something more, or perhaps we'll get a little bit more of that mystery in Bad Batch. So, season 2 coming out this fall.
And the way this series is going right now, we have 3 more episodes. At this point, I don't need a Bad Batch to enter. I don't need anybody else to. I don't need Yoda. The only cameo we really had in this series is the Clone Trooper, and the Clone Trooper wasn't there to be like, oh hey, look, it's Tamara Morrison. No, it was there to show you the impact that the Empire had on the galaxy.
That scene could be a painting. I'm just saying, like, that image of those two together and what was happening there. It's like that to me is just like so powerful.
The look on Obi-Wan's face and what's become of the galaxy.
Yeah,
it's like it's not there to be a cool cameo.
Yep.
It's 20 seconds of just storytelling.
Yeah.
With like very little words, and that's
why it could be a painting. I mean, like, the galaxy used both of them up and spit them out, and here they are. You know, so
and that's the thing that I agree with both of you about that, because what this show is doing so well is it's showing. I mean, it's kind of it's what I've loved about Obi-Wan's arc here is he thought removing himself from the equation, just like I failed, I'm out, but then he's seeing like, oh, this is so much bigger than me just stepping out of this, like and seeing the Imperial flags being on this planet that he said there was people farming and there was life and there was whatever, and now there's nothing. They've stripped it all away. And it does go back. We kind of teased on poor Grand Inquisitor of his very long monologue about the Jedi and seeing that in real time in this. I know, Ralph, you mentioned
I liked it.
You were like,
I liked it.
The longer, the better.
No, it wasn't even. When I rewatched, I'm like, it's not even that long, but it sets up Reva so well. Where she's an Inquisitor and she could get in people's minds, and she's just like, I'm sick of this too.
Right.
Action, no words. Action. Let's get into this.
No,
and she throws that knife. And
I think
result.
the pacing of his monologue is just perfect enough because you're impatient as a viewer, and she is stepping in and doing this thing that you want to do. So,
can I just ask something of this esteemed panel here?
Away.
There's a lot of people saying her acting is bad in this. I'm not knowledgeable on acting to know it's bad or good. But I think she's doing a great job. Like, for the character she is portraying, which is impatient, she's clearly got her own motivations outside of the realm of whatever Inquisitors are supposed to. Obviously, like I'm not seeing how she's a bad actor. I'm not.
I don't see it. I was talking to Stevie about this. She is playing essentially at the most a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
She was that youngling. It's been 10 years.
Yeah, she's either 8 or 10 years old when that happens. So she's either 18 or 20 years old. So she's
she's a bit of an impatient kid.
Oh, does that remind us of anybody in Star Wars?
Right.
I don't know. An impatient, petulant person working for the Empire.
And frankly, her line delivery is less wooden than young Hayden Christensen as Anakin, which he said in retrospect he wanted it to be a little bit more to make his voice sound more like Vader in the suit, or James Earl Jones as Vader. Whether that approach is the right way to go could be argued about, but I feel like her lines are more emotional than the what we call whiny Anakin or whiny Luke. The Skywalker's a bunch of whiners, but go ahead.
Two lines that stand out to me. What's so important? What's he carrying? That's Han Solo from A New Hope. Yeah. So bad. That's like one of his worst lines. And then
doesn't care. That's what's great. Han Solo doesn't care. Harrison Ford probably doesn't care. He's like, it's perfect casting.
And then there's the where could he be? when when Luke is trying to get
3PO, where can he be?
But here's the thing. So I'm a big fan of the Flash Gordon serials, which Star Wars is based on.
Mhm.
And if you watch the Flash Gordon serials, everything from composition and acting is all on par in the prequels as it is with Flash Gordon serials. So it doesn't, even though I think her performance is fine and I like it and I enjoy her character. Listen, she doesn't have to be like some Shakespearean actor.
No.
Nobody
Right.
does, because it's Star Wars.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Star Wars has never been considered the bastion of great acting.
No.
No,
He's
you're talking to two people.
robots.
You're talking to two people that like the
Who cares?
Ewok movies, right? Like, I mean,
Star Wars is a very simple fairy tale. Good is good, evil is evil.
Let it happen.
Like, it's just
enjoy.
Yeah.
Stop nitpicking. Like, there's so much stuff to enjoy in this. You don't have to nitpick.
But I
anything.
also don't want to discount people that feel like they just don't like the character, which is fine. If you don't like the character, that's fine. If you don't like one of the approach of the character, that's fine. But I also think
don't be racist.
and I don't think yes. But I also want to say, like, if you don't like the character, doesn't mean you're a racist. But if you're gonna like send death threats and make racist comments, then you're
yeah. I mean, you probably are a racist if you're sending death threats.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think you're
a horrible person if you're sending death threats.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
we could just be nice to one another as human beings, but it's like if you don't like their creative choices. So
Alec Guinness would have awarded that. That's fair. He got nominated for an Oscar, right, for his portrayal as Obi-Wan Kenobi. But even he thought, he was like, "Why am I in this movie? Oh, I want to get like these residuals that'll make me set for life. That's why." But
yeah. Nick Dillinger.
Well, I've enjoyed the series so far, and it's really exciting stuff. And I think that those who maybe haven't caught up with it yet, or they're resistant to it, once they do watch it, I think they'll find it is very rewarding. So
personally, like, so far, and this may be like hyperbolic to say, but I mean, it's recency bias to say, but like, this has been some of like the most intense and feels the most Star Warsy in the first 3 episodes out of anything on Disney Plus so far, easily, right? Like, just and maybe because you have James Earl Jones, hybrid Hayden Christensen voicing Vader. You have Hayden Christensen as Vader. You have Ewan McGregor showing up as Obi-Wan. Like, so maybe that's why you have it was Jimmy Smits as
Jimmy Smits. Yeah.
So maybe that's why it feels super Star Wars, but it has a gravitas towards it that feels Star Wars.
The thing that I was excited about when The Mandalorian came out was, I'm a big Flash Gordon fan. I've said it before. I'll say it again. And
do you do a show about
serial.
It? Okay.
I don't, but I have a toy of the 1930s.
Jay's
Flash
like,
Gordon.
please no.
But the thing is, those are serials. And Flash and Star Wars was based on a Flash Gordon serial. And when The Mandalorian came, I'm fine with sort of the episodic.
Yeah,
I'm fine. But now we're getting an actual serial with a full-on. Each ending has had like a cliffhanger.
Yes,
and I can't wait to return next week to see what happens with Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Now I've talked about this with others before, but would Star Wars have been better, let's say, when they launched the whole Star Wars what was it? I'm trying to think of Rogue One's official title. It was like Star Wars
Story or something.
Star Wars Story, yeah. If they had just said, let's do a TV show that's just called A Star Wars Story, and they just did an anthology-based TV show where they could say, okay, we're going to go to this period of time. Now we're going to go to this period of time. Now we can do this. And they just put their efforts and resources into one show that they could just focus on, then just have it jump around and tell us these stories. Because
it kind of is. I think you just the titles are misleading because it basically is that, right?
Yeah, right.
And there's one of my favorite podcasts is Blank Check with Griffin and David.
I started listening based on your recommendation.
Great show, right? Yeah. And this week's episode was Spider-Man 2 with Chris Gethard, And
Yep.
he brought up how if you view like Mandalorian as Uncanny X-Men and Book of Boba Fett as X Factor, like
Ooh,
it
okay.
all kind of just fits in. Like
Mhm.
and I agree with you, Matt. Like it would have been better if they said like a Star Wars story, and this is a show.
Yeah, and you just
like,
rotate in like, you know, I still don't like the name, but you know,
yeah,
the idea
right? Yeah.
the idea of like rotating in different elements and
But
allowing
that's when
different
you bring in
directors
like
to
different
have
talent.
yeah, and allow different directors to
Yep.
shine, you know? I mean,
Yep.
like everything
If
that we've seen from
there's
Bryce Dallas Howard, we're like, give her a show, let
Yeah,
her do
I agree.
more. Yeah.
Yeah,
give her
agree.
Willow. But okay, so I played a game called Overwatch, and it's just a basic online fighting game. There's no real story. But before the release of the game, they released these short films based on the different characters, and they
Mhm.
were all like different styles and different, different characters and completely different storylines that didn't have to connect to anything. That's what I want from this. I
Yep.
would like an anthology, but do it like Visions, which I've seen
Yeah.
one episode of.
What?
And
You've only seen one episode of that?
yeah,
I don't know why my voice keeps going higher.
What is it?
It's like I should be going down in like connotation. Like, what are you talking about? You know, like I'm mad.
but I
you know?
like that. I like that concept of different time periods and different
amazing.
artists. And
Watch
yeah,
the rest of it. It's
I
not
will.
long.
I totally will.
Visions is so good. I love Visions.
Visions was great. I for what it was, I loved it.
Yeah.
Gap 1501. I'm liking the show, but I feel like it would have been much stronger movie. Vader just letting Ben get away
feels
like
like a
that
movie.
seems like really weird when he just mopped the floor with them.
Yeah.
To me, I saw even when he's lightsabering him, he's just one-handing it.
Yeah.
Like he's playing with his food. He wants
He's
him
in tune with the
feel
Force.
misery.
This right here, this is exactly what I said. This is a cat and mouse thing, and it's like a cat because when the fires were there, when the flames were there, I'm like, I've seen Rebels, I've seen enough Clone Wars. He could flip over this, he could go through that
yeah.
fire. He's not afraid of fire, whatever. Okay, in this case, maybe he's afraid of the fire, but he could have
It only
flown
changed
over
him
that.
completely.
Yeah, I mean, like, so granted, like, I felt like there was a part of him that was just like, okay, I'm gonna let you sulk away so that I can come back, and I want a real fight. I don't want to fight you like this, you know. And he even said it in that moment when he's dragging him through the coals. I want you to suffer the same. He wants to come back and take off a limb at a time. So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you just put it up there, like playing.
Yeah,
with
she said she said it while we were watching the episode.
Mm-hmm. No, that is straight up, and I understand that for some viewers, why would he let it? No, it is if you've watched a cat, this is exactly
and again,
what's going on.
And how they've sold it is the entire. I said already, the entire sequence is him. He is ticked off. He is murdering kids. He is like you can
dragon
see
ladies,
and that's why I think it's important where they showed all of the assembly of him getting his arms reattached, all of that stuff.
He got his montage. He was like,
he got his montage. But it's
the
showing
probe droids got their montage
of every single moment.
Yeah.
He needs a montage.
The probe droid scene was a bit, you know, it erupted. So, and only 3 probe droids. They're like, we only have the budget for 3.
You only need 3. Maybe there's more launch stuff after that. Okay.
I assume.
I want to get into screen memes. I have a ton of screen memes. Okay. So, gentlemen, final thoughts. Ralph, I'll give you first. Matt, you'll have the last word. Ralph, final thoughts on episode 3.
This is the best Disney Plus series, I think, as far as storytelling goes. Yeah. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm not saying it's actually the best. There's no way to gauge that. But I like it the most of any of the series, and I've rewatched it each episode twice. And I love the attention to detail. Even seeing Anakin's lightsaber in the box in the desert. Now, instead of having the sort of the little microchip kind of circuit board thing there, it's got the little glass bubbles. Which is a small detail between the difference between
this is his last thoughts, by the way.
Skywalker saber that we've seen in everything else, and the difference in Star Wars. That's how it looked in Star Wars only. So the fact that they did that tiny detail shows me that they're really, really paying close attention to this stuff, and I like that they're focusing on story instead of cool moments.
I love that. Love that, Ralph. Matt, final thoughts on episode 3.
Well, I'm gonna go watch everything that Ralph does first. All of his shows. So you should do that.
Watch them all.
Watch them all.
Ralph is the hardest working man in YouTube.
I know. I tease. I'm just.
I'm super proud of live action Star Wars and how it's been going.
Agreed.
I'm excited.
Terribly entertaining show.
I like how you've also focused on live action. So.
And if you watch the latest episode, I'll be wearing the same outfit.
Excellent. My thoughts on the show so far, part 3. Just ratcheting up the tension even more, and I love all of the things in play. I'm enjoying this show, and I like all of the story beats. So much more exciting and rewarding each week as this unfolds. So,
Mike, next final thoughts. No mention of the fallen electric fence. Brutal.
Oh yeah,
I forgot to mention that. I was going to mention it. That was great.
Yeah,
a cool moment, but yeah.
Go ahead, Matt. You were still talking. I apologize.
No, I have nothing else to say except for I look forward to coming back next week and talking more.
Happy to have you, Matt. You're a great add to the GDL multiverse. All right, let's bring up the
actual D
screen memes. So this is a new segment that I brought into this. Mainly because the prequel series has such a strong culture around memes. And most of these were pulled from the Reddit r_/whatever prequel memes. I'm going to start with more of the Owen ones because they're just so good. So this first one here, you have Owen. Then you have him barbecued. And then you have Palpatine. It's ironic. He could have roasted others, but he couldn't save himself from being roasted. The Owen memes on this are just incredible.
So good because it's the scene when he's roasting Kenobi. Essentially.
Yes. So good. So good. Yes. Thank you, Nick Dillinger. What's the email address again? Yeah. If you want to send in memes for screen memes, you can send them to geekdeadlife@gmail.com. Okay. A couple more Owen memes. Sith Lords are our specialty.
And it's just him looking at him.
And one more. I have to face Vader. The way he faced him on Cloud City.
And by the way, this is a scene where like Luke's talking to Leia on that very intimate scene on Endor, and I have to face Vader.
And don't worry, Matt, this is not going to be a podcast somewhere, so it's visual only. So
okay, yeah, that's me. I'm in podcasting mode.
Don't worry, this is not. Oh, yeah, this is only on YouTube, so everyone can see this. Okay,
you don't have a YouTube show, Matt?
I don't.
I do.
I've never been on a YouTube show. I don't know what they are. This visual aspect. I'm just the way you faced him on Cloud City. Okay, I'll just say the joke and then get off.
I cracked up this. All right, let's keep moving here. Seeing Vader snap a person's neck for no apparent reason. That's a great one.
That's a good one. Yeah, especially the pleased kind of happy feeling.
Yeah, it's like, okay. Next here, Anakin, I'm pregnant because of Obi-Wan. Are you my real father? I wish I could say that I was.
Oh, that's so good. I love that. Because of Obi-Wan.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan. We meet again at last. When I left you, we were on a mining system called Mapasu. I just sent you a blaze and had planned to show you the devastating nature of the dark side when you were saved by a goddamn robot.
Ironic, since he's more machine now than man. I
like that it takes up his whole face.
Yeah. Are we gonna see him chop off one of Vader's arms and be like, oh
no, I again, to your point, that's a really good point, Matt. Like calling out
the machine part, right?
The machine part. How would he know? Well, it's because now he's faced him. He knows he's more.
Now he knows he's more machine now. So you got one more back there, boss?
Oh, I got like 10 more. So let's keep going. Farther, aren't you going to say hello? Hello. You're on the verge of greatness. You're this close.
No, I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it.
We were all singing it when he said hello.
I'm so tired of it. I really am.
You never get overtired of it.
I'm hoping. I keep saying I'm hoping the very last episode he says goodbye there, and then it does an iris out with the fart sound.
Wow. Fart sound and the Curb Your Enthusiasm music. And then the lost. So, it's just all of it in one. So.
Let's keep going here.
Okay.
This one. I miss home. You'll be home very soon. And while you're there, you should enjoy it because you've around 8 years of it left.
Oh man, my son kept punking on Leia and her home. I was like, damn, really? We're not even through the episode, and you're cracking jokes at him.
I hope the Death Star super laser hits Leia's cousin first.
Yes, please.
Like it's somehow that's
got to be a meme too. Like it goes right through his back and then hits the planet. You know,
Yes.
It's just bam, boom. Okay, over. Just for a split second, he knew. And that Leia was alive too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Leia was alive. Yes. We're getting a transmission from Leia. And then he's dead. Okay, go ahead.
1,000 voices cried out in terror, but there was the first one that cried out really loud.
She was like, "Oh, I felt that one. That one was okay."
And it was Leia's cousin. Okay, that was good. That felt great.
Oh my God. All right, this was a Quinlan related meme.
Nice.
Quinlan was here. What's it say? Quinlan.
Quinlan was here. Nice.
Looking for love in all the wrong places.
Looking for Oh man.
Oh my God. All right, let's keep moving here.
For a good time, call Quinlan.
Uno card. Actually do something to hunt Obi-Wan instead of just stopping Reva, or draw 25.
The other inquisitors, they just draw 25. Nice. Sorry, I'm doing that podcasting thing. Damn it.
That's okay. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna visually like announce things as I see
fine.
them.
That's fine.
So
You're fine.
I have a huge beard.
I made my bed for a reason, dude.
I mean,
If this wasn't a video show, this would not be. So
excuse me while I move the whiskers out of my way so I can speak. So,
all right, here we go. Next meme. Here we go. Darth Vader dramatically ignites his saber, expecting an epic confrontation. Obi-Wan
runs away. Run away.
That was great. That was great. And it's great from a storytelling standpoint. I love that.
I like because it's not what you want and it's not what you expected.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? Like we all were like, yeah, just bring it, Obi-Wan. Show him what's up. No, that's not what you're getting.
The thing is we've already had the insane, we've had it already. We don't. And I'm sorry, Ralph. This is an anime meme. I apologize, my friend.
Yeah, it was.
I don't have a problem with anime. I'll watch it.
All right, here we go. Next meme.
Action show.
Me for the first time seeing Obi-Wan getting dragged through the fire slowly after getting choked by Darth Vader.
This dog meme is so good. I love the pupils. Anytime you can see like the spot of a dog's eye, you know it's serious.
All right, let's keep going here. Darth Vader barbecuing Obi-Wan. Loki. Yes, that's how it feels.
That's exactly it. And it's perfect too, because I mentioned the Thor Hulk face.
You did.
Yeah.
It's callback. It's a callback, man.
Exact round one, man. He has to get his lightning going.
All right, next up. Me standing by the campfire, my marshmallow.
And for those that can only hear this, it's just Obi-Wan being put on fire. Why am I saying?
It's just Vader sitting there,
just watching it. Just peaceful. He actually looks happy. Yeah, so peaceful. I assume that it's at camp.
Can I just say, I 100% prefer the red lens Vader mask. It's so much more menacing. It's so much better. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah.
The New Hope red lens.
Red lens, New Hope.
They used it in Rogue One.
They
did.
So
did.
Vader must have different suits.
Well, they kind of. I think they were trying to make it chronological because in Empire he loses the red lenses. But to me, like in this episode in Rogue One, like the red lenses are so much better, so much better.
Yeah, I do kind of wonder, like when he went to the full shade, he's like, oh, I could have done this the whole time.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
Maybe they come
like- it's
down.
like
Maybe
it-
they're red, but the light
it's
comes
like-
down. And
All right, let's keep moving here.
oh, bad
You
language.
must give me the high round, right? High ground, right? Yeah. And then he throws him into the fire. Oh, that was pretty
I kept expecting, because he was walking, as he's walking around the gravel pit there, which, by the way, least exciting place to have a lightsaber battle.
Oh, a rock quarry? What's wrong with that?
No, that's fine. It's just what happens after the lava pit. It's just a rock quarry. Anyway, I kept expecting Vader to be up on one of those dunes, just like, now who has the high ground,
Right.
So
All right, keep moving here. I think since recent, unrelated, like just Star Wars, but completely
Out of
this
context.
episode.
yes, out of context.
Out of context. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Dwight on the coals.
Yes, Dwight on the coal.
I like the mole too. That's good.
James Earl Jones is the voice of Darth Vader.
Oh,
the
nice.
king.
That's cool.
Can we talk about that for just a quick second? So we were saying it was like digital or whatever. I thought at first I was like, oh, they've just pitch modulated Hayden Christensen's voice. It seemed like a mix of Hayden Christensen and James Earl Jones. Did anybody else get that sense? That's how I was hearing a bit of Hayden in there.
I have a hunch that they took Hayden's performance and then modulated James Earl Jones to have the same cadence.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think there's some sort of mix in there.
It sounded the
sounded good.
Voice sounded like, because in Rogue One you could tell, like, oh, James Earl Jones. I mean, he is old. He's like,
old.
How old is he? Like 90?
He's 90, I think.
I assume that his living room kind of looks like Vader's living room too. That huge, wide open, like expanse. It's so beautiful.
Vader's
I loved that
awesome.
shot. Right?
Yeah. It's
cool.
cool.
Yeah, it's a great shot.
Yeah.
Great.
He was just waiting there, like I'm just waiting.
Yep. About to watch episode 3 of Kenobi. Having watched episode 3 of Kenobi.
The blur and the grainy.
And that wraps up screen memes
Woo!
for
Love it.
episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Anywho, gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out and talking about episode 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Ralph, I know you haven't mentioned it yet, but you host, or you are a part of a fantastic YouTube channel dedicated to live action Star Wars. And I have to say, I feel like you have the earliest hot takes of new episodes of Obi-Wan, because you all do them at like 7 a.m.
7:30 on Wednesdays. Next week's going to be 9 though.
So where can people find your fantastic Star Wars channel?
If you go to liveactionstarwars.com, it'll take you directly to the channel.
There you go. Matt, you also host a Star Wars podcast, not a YouTube channel.
Every Wednesday.
Me? I wish. Yeah, I do. Yeah, with Jay.
In fairness to Matt, I think Matt would be game, but his co-hosts are kind of pains in the asses. So it's not as consistent, but it really
there is a scheduling issue right now too.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're getting out of not doing a Kenobi podcast at some point. So and who knows what will.
I'm interested to hear what Nick and Chris have to say, especially Nick, because Nick is a huge
annoying Star Wars fan,
and he's way into the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
and he is a real curmudgeon with this stuff. And I would like to see his take on this because it is so closely tied to his beloved Clone Wars.
I don't feel it's fair if I just read off his texts.
It's not. Matt and I are in a group chat with said person. I don't want to say the tweets from Star Wars recently were directly towards Nick, but it was a broadside at the very.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Mhm.
But
Very
Nick
broad.
is the quintessential curmudgeon Star Wars fan. Hates everything.
Yeah.
Not George Lucas immediately created.
But still in the category of fan. Is that
for some reason?
Questionable?
But yeah, it's a crispy good time at Owen and Brews Barbecue. But again, another take on Star Wars. But
we do kick the tires quite a bit. So
yes,
yeah.
yes.
And,
and it has one of the best names in Star Wars podcasts. So.
I'm still loving it. So I'm loving it. It's like Burger King.
But have no fear. Matt has agreed to talk about Star Wars. Ralph, I know you already do it. You're not beholden, but you're always welcome back as well. But we will be here every, I guess, Wednesday now, 9
Wednesday
Standard Time, to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's only 3 episodes left, so hit the subscribe button and that bell icon if you haven't done that yet. And yeah, I think you're not a true Star Wars fan unless you hate Star Wars.
That seems at least some aspect of it, right?
Yeah, that's a part of it for sure. All right.
The Kenobi has made me like love Star Wars so much more than I have since Solo, which I'm saying I love Solo. You guys know that I love Solo, right?
You're a big Solo fan.
And The Rise of Skywalker. I know. I feel like I'm in a minority.
Then I guess you're Han Solo.
Hey, listen, that's one cringy thing in an otherwise perfect movie.
Yeah, only 6, but honestly, I'm okay with it because
it's like 3 movies.
This episode specifically, I was like, they aren't holding back. If this was a series, if this was like there's gonna be more seasons, we wouldn't have gotten this episode till the very end of the last episode.
I feel also, like they would have held out.
This is the only Star Wars series or live action series that started with a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So it has the guts of a movie. It also, the end credits mirror the original trilogy. It doesn't have the concept art. It's the Starfield with the thing. So yeah.
Comic now, Star Wars fans have hated Star Wars since '99. But hate leads to suffering.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. Exactly. And you know what? All of it is fine. You can either hate it or love it, whatever. But here we're gonna take the more positive side of life. All right, we'll see you all next time. Oh wait, I gotta play the music. Oh, I didn't even do the.
Oh man.
The patrons. Well, at least put the Obi-Wan podcast theme. But I want to thank the patrons that make this show possible. Honestly, it is doing this extra channel is part of what you all can contribute because of the Patreon. So I definitely want to put all the patrons up here. This will change in the next month, but thank you to all of our patrons. If you don't see your name in an episode, because we put them in every single episode, become a patron at patreon.com/geektechlife. You get exclusive access to the Discord, which is a lot of fun. You also get exclusive post streams every single Sunday night, and maybe we'll do more as time progresses. And we do a raffle every single month, so a lot of fun there. So, Matt, Ralph, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody in the chat. This was a great time. Until next time, hasta luego, and goodbye. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.